Hi, this is Asing. You are now watching Asing SL TV. Today I'd like to share how to create a calendar that allows us to choose a date by using UserForm. Let's proceed to Developer tab, Visual Basic, and insert the UserForm and start to design. We can refer to the system calendar to have better idea. As we can see, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 rows because sometimes it takes up to 6 weeks to cover 1 month. Let's enlarge the user form and I will first insert command button for user to choose the year. So for this command button, I will first change the caption to story, and for the font, we change to Weddings and size 20. So we will obtain a left to the left button, and we drag, copy and drag, change to 4, and we will obtain a right button so that user can choose the year that they want. So next, insert a label. So we can first change the caption to a particular year. So make sure that no characters being hidden when we change the font size. We can change to Times New Roman for the font, and font size we take 18. Adjust if needed, adjust the position if needed, and we change the text align to center. So we'll have a better appearance. For the user form, let's say we want to display the caption with the word calendar, then we just change it. Otherwise, we can ignore because it's not involving in any part of the coding. So next, we just have to press the Control key button and we drag. Then we adjust accordingly to display the month to be selected. We can first type any month, make sure that the space is enough to cover all the characters of the month. So we will use the month with the longest character if possible. So we have already done for the year and for the month. To decide the heading of the days, we can make use of label again. We first change the caption to Sunday. If let's say we want the Sunday to be the first day of the week. And font we change to Times New Roman and size 18. So again, we have to change to center align. So the text align, we make it center. Okay, next, we just have to drag and place to the desired position. Now we should change some to month because after Sunday should be Monday. And then drag again, change again, Tuesday for all the days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We adjust the position of the command button and the label of the month if necessary, so that the alignment look better. Okay, then we adjust the size of the user form. Remember to change to Saturday as well. So let's say we want to have better appearance or more attractive, we can change Sunday, the font color to red color if we want. And for the Saturday, the font color we can change to blue if we want, or green. So green is not visible enough. So we can choose a color that is nice enough. Okay, next, we are not going to use label to display all the dates because we have to bear in mind that label is not an active control. So let's say we want to call a particular label using active control that not workable. So what we have to do, instead of using label, I will use the frame to replace. So we insert frame, then we adjust the sign accordingly. So if let's say we have frame, as we can see, with a frame, then it's not nice. So for example, we change to 31, any day of the month also can, because later we are going to use VBA to run through the days. So the font also we have to change to the same type and same size. Then what we have to do next is change special effect. look for special effect, and we change to flat. Look for flat. So as we can see, then the frame disappear. So look like label. And we can adjust the sign accordingly. And we just have to drag. So make sure we place correctly. We don't have to change the date number because we are going to use VBA to help us to run for the days. So as you can see, we already have all this. Altogether, we need 6 rows. We have to bear in mind that the numbering, the sequence is very important. So we start from 1 to 7. So now the next step, if let's say we don't want to copy one by one, waste time, we actually can copy at the same time. Before that, remember to change to the same color as the heading. So we look for the full color and we change to red. For the Saturday, we change to blue. Okay, next, now we should drag and copy. So press using the Control key button on the keyboard. So start from Saturday. This step is very important in order for us to ensure that the sequence is correct. So we drag and we drag and we drag. Altogether, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So as we can see, it's not enough. So we have to enlarge the user form. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more. So again, select from the Saturday and to Monday. We just have to keep pressing or hold the Control key button on the keyboard. And then we drag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is enough already. So basically, the design of the calendar is already done. So let's say we think that the space in between the date is too big, we can adjust accordingly. Now we just have to double check. We click on a particular frame. So 1 and the last one is 7. So 8. So 7 to 8, correct. The sequence is very important. Then 14, 15, 21, 22, 28, 29, 35, 36, and 42. So all the sequence correct. Now we can proceed to the coding part. I will first back to Excel and we insert the code to this command button to call the user form. So what we have to do here is I will always display the current year and the current month every time the user form is called. So user form 1 dot label 1, since the year is the first label that we insert. If let's say we're not sure, we can check again. So name label 1 and this is label 2. So command button 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we go back to the coding part. So label dot caption, we are going to display using the current year. So year function, we want the year only. Current year means what? Now. And now we should change to label 2 and the caption should take the month. You have to bear in mind that if let's say we use the month function, what we display is the number. So for example, January is the first month, so display 1. 2 is February, so display 2. What we have to do here is convert to month name. Okay, next is we can now call user form 1, so dot show. How about the days? We have to insert a module so that we can update the days every time we call the user form. So make sure that we use the same name for all the command that we need later. So I will use assign date. So we just have to copy exactly, make sure the spelling is exactly the same for all the command whenever we want to call this module. So we have to update the days first before we call the user form. So every time I will assign first before we call the user form. I'm not going to call the user form then only assign. I will assign first. Okay, now we move to module first so that we can update the day. What we have to do here, recall that when we design the calendar, we use Sunday as the first day of the week, which means that the first Sunday is very important. If this number is correct, which means that the rest definitely correct, otherwise wrong. So we are going to determine the first Sunday. To do so, I will first assign a dummy to record the day that we have, the date that we have. So we use date value to join the month and the year, because the month and the year will determine which Sunday is that. So simply use the first day of the month. So remember to put space, it's very important, because we are going to convert string to day value. User form 1 dot labor month. So second labor is the month. So we are going to have day, month, year. And space again, use ampersand to connect in between the strings. Then user form 1 dot labor 1 as a year. So we have day, month, year. Then what we have to do here is determine the first Sunday that we have. So we are going to use this formula A minus day A. This is for us to move back to the previous month, the last day of the previous month. And we are going to use the weekday to determine what is the current day, which means that if let's say the current date is Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, or what. So A minus day A. Now we should offset with. So since we are using Sunday as the first day, so make sure we choose Sunday, offset with 8, because from one Sunday to the next Sunday, the duration is 8 days. So we have to offset it. Then after that, we are going to use a condition. Since as we can see, sometimes it might take up to 6 weeks to cover 1 month. So which means that the first day of the month may start from behind. So the first Sunday, which means that maybe start from the second row, not the first row. So whether we want to start from the first row, display the day on the first row or the second row, then I'm going to use Monday as a cutoff point. So if the Monday, the value is small, then I will start from the first row. Otherwise, I will start from the second row. So day, now the first Sunday, after Sunday is Monday. Since I want to use Monday as a cutoff point, so I will plus 1. Is less than equal to 2, then, which means that I will start from the first row. So first day is equal to first Sunday minus 1. Why I'm minus 1 here is because later I will going to introduce head count. So every time I will plus 1, plus 1. So here I have to offset. So else, first day is equal to first Sunday minus 8. So that start from the second row. 1 week we have 7 days. So that's why we minus 8. Offset extra 1 because head count plus 1. So start with if, end with if. Now we should update the frame. So we are going to define the frame first. Dim frame as control, since they are control. Then for each frame that we have, what we have to do here is refer to a frame on the user form. So when we type, we should type in user form 1.controls. If, of course, not all the control on the user form we should update with the number. We want to update only the frame. So make sure the type is correct. So type name, refer to the object that we have, is equal to frames. Frame. Then we perform head count. I is equal to I plus 1. Then we can update. So frame dot caption is equal to, what we have here is we want only the day, first day plus I. So as we can see, minus I plus I, we get back to Sunday. If let's say we want to have specific format, for example, every day with 2 digits. So we can set format. So 0 and the number. So which means that if this number is only 1 digit, then we add 0 in front. Otherwise, we ignore. And we will going to introduce another condition. So this is for us to differentiate whether it's current month or the next month. So we are going to use the month name. If let's say the month name of what we recorded here, what we added here, what we plus here. So we are going to retrieve only the month. So first day plus I. If let's say the name of the month is exactly the same as the name that we presented on the user form, the month here. So which means that the day belongs to the current month. Dot labor, month is labor 2. Then we will enable the frame. Enable is equal to true. Otherwise, else we should disable. So change to false. We start with if. Of course, we need to end with if. We start with if, end with if. For first one done, go to the next and done. So basically, the coding part for updating the date is already done. Now we should back to the user form and assign whether we should go to the previous year, next year, previous month, or next month. Double click on the left button of the year, which means that we intended to move back to the previous year. So what we have to do here is update the year by -1. So dot labor, year is labor 1, dot caption is equal to user form 1 dot labor 1 dot caption -1. So we can move back to the previous month. After that, remember to update the day. So we can copy and paste here. Once we're done for the first button, we move to the next button. So move to the right means that we want to move to the next year. So we should simply change minus to plus. So done for a year, now we should move to month. For the month, we have to be careful. We cannot simply plus or minus because we have that in mind that if let's say the current month is January, when we -1, 1 minus 1 is 0. But do we have 0 month? So this is the problem. So we have to introduce condition here. User form 1 dot labor 2, since month is labor 2 dot caption. If let's say the current month is January, then before January is December. So we have to make use of December dot labor. Month is labor 2 dot caption is equal to December. Otherwise, we can update as usual by using plus minus. But what we want here when we plus minus is we have to first convert to day value, the date value, so that Excel able to recognize what is the time. So we need labor 2 dot caption is equal to, but what we want is only the name. So we have to convert to month name. Then we want to extract the month. So convert to day value first, so that Excel able to recognize. For the day value, as we can see, string, make sure whatever we type here is a string. So 1 space, what is the date we use here, not really important, because what we want, our purpose here is just to want to record the month. So the month is the important part, others is not important. So user form 1 dot labor 2, and what is the year also not important. So we can simply take any year that we want, space 2022. Remember, everything must be in terms of string, otherwise error. So after that, what we have to do here is -1, since we want to move back to the previous month. Start with if, and with if. After that, remember to update the day. Then done, go to the next button. So we just simply copy paste, then we amend accordingly. Now is December to January and move to next. So plus. Basically, the coding part for assigning year, month, and date already done. Let's check the result before we further to write the code for selecting the date. We're back to Excel, so click the button to call the user form. So this is a date that we have. We can check whether we done it correctly. So apparently it's correct. We can check for a few months. So maybe we check for the next day. We try to see, start from the first day, if let's say it's correct. Okay, so May 2022, correct. However, let's say we change to the previous year. For example, we want to have maybe like, as we can see when we press it's correct, we can do that. Okay, August, is it the same? Previous year. So we check, okay, August, also the same. So basically everything is already correct. Now we should update the code so that when user press a particular frame, we can record the date to this cell. Okay, let's move on. Double click on the frame to assign the code. So what we have to do here is display whatever we have to the cell that we want. So we refer to sheet 1.cells. So we choose a cell that we want to display the date. So since I want to display to row 7 column G, so I put here row 7 and column G. So what we want here is to connect all the thing that we have here. So UserForm 1.controls. This we want to automatically update the date using the value that clicked by the user. So ActiveControl. So this is the code that not workable on labor. .name .caption. So I'm going to take this current frame, the name. So this is frame 1, then the caption. So if let's say the caption here currently is 31. So 31 will be displayed. And then we connect with, okay, so with space so that we want the date to be written correctly and % to connect in between the string. So after date is supposed to be month. So UserForm 1.labor, month is the second labor, then and space again. So this one is without formatting. So it will when the Excel display print this string to the cell will according to the default format. So UserForm, if let's say we want to have specific format, then we just use the format function. So labor 1 is the year dot caption. Here also dot caption. So already done for that. Okay, then after that we should end since we already selected. Means that we don't have to bother about what is the user form anymore. We just end it. Okay, what we have to do next is we just copy whatever we type here. So we copy and then we paste to the next frame. We just have to copy paste. As we can see, we refer to the active control, means that the current control. We don't have to bother what is that. Excel will do for that. We just have to copy and paste until the last one before we check the result. Now let's check the result. Click on the command button. So we can choose whatever that we want. We can choose whatever month that we want, as we can see here. So if let's say we choose a particular date, for example, this one. So as we can see, will be automatically updated here. And we choose again. So choose different year and different month, and let's see the result. So for example, we choose this one. As we can see, automatically updated. Okay, we can always choose whatever date that we prefer and we'll update it automatically. Okay, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this. See you.